Welcome to my channel, Crochet for Baby. Thanks for watching. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to knit this hat for adults. Now, a couple months ago, I showed you the kids version of this hat, and many of you commented asking for the adult version. So here it is, and I hope you like it. Now, if you want to see the kids version of this hat, just click the little lamp down here next to my channel name, and it'll take you to my main channel page. You will find the tutorials there. Okay, let's get started. But first, don't forget, all of my tutorials are always in English and in Spanish. Also, don't forget to subscribe, share my tutorials, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. To knit this hat, I'll be using these 5mm circular knitting needles. You can also use straight needles since we're going to be making this hat in rows. In another tutorial, I'm going to show you how to knit the same hat but in the round. I think when you knit it in the round, it's got a nicer finish, but for today, I'm going to knit this hat in rows. Also, the yarn that I'm going to be using, it's a bulky number 5 yarn. This is the brand of yarn that I'm using. It's called Premier Puzzle. Like I said, it's a bulky number 5, and we're going to have some color variation, and that's because the yarn is like this. Now, the color on this, it says it's Cat's Cradle. You can also use any number 4 yarn. This yarn here is not that thick, as you can see. It's this here is a number 4 and this is a number 5, so I think that it's probably like a thicker number 4, so you can use number 4 yarn as well. Now, the first thing that we need to do is we need to cast on a total of 92 stitches. The method that I'm going to show you on how to cast on your stitches is the long tail cast on. So put both needles like this, wrap the yarn around like this 20 times. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Perfect. So here we have enough yarn for about 20 stitches. I'm going to double it up. We have enough for 40. Double it up again. We have enough for 60. Double it up again. We have enough for 80. Double it up again, and we have enough for about 100 stitches. I'm going to leave it like this because it's best to have a little bit more than to have to measure this again. So now I'm going to make a slip knot right here. Now this is the yarn that we just measured, and this here is coming from the skein. So insert both needles like this. Open the yarn like this. Now we're going to go from left to right, and we're going to grab a loop like this. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. You're just going to continue until you have 92 stitches on your needles. Continue, and I'll show you what we need to do next. Okay, I finished casting on my stitches. I have a total of 92 stitches here. This is all the yarn that I had left over. So now here at the end, just tie a knot like this. Perfect. Now pull one of the needles carefully. And now we're going to start. Now the first thing that we're going to make is the brim. So to make the brim, I'm going to knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, and I'm going to do this for about, I don't know, 7 or 10 rows. For this first row, I'm going to knit the first stitch, purl the next, knit the next stitch, purl the next. So knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. This is all I'm going to do to the end of this first row. So continue and knit 1 and purl 1 to the end of this first row. I'm here at the end of this first row. The last stitch here, I'm going to purl. Now turn for the second row. Now from here on, we're going to slip the first stitch like this, and we're going to purl the next stitch. So purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit to the end of this second row. I will meet you there to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end. I have my last 2 stitches. I'm going to knit and then purl the last stitch. And here's the second row. Now from here on, we're going to always repeat the second row. So to start you off here for the 3rd row, slip the first stitch, then you're going to purl the next, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl. This is all I'm going to do. I'm going to do this for a total of, I don't know, 7 or 8 rows. Continue watching. I'll let you know exactly how many rows I'm going to do. I'm just not sure how wide 7 or 10 rows is going to be. So continue watching. I'll let you know how many rows I'm going to do for this part. This is going to be the brim of the hat. So continue watching and I'll meet you at the end of that row. Okay, I finished making the brim. I did a total of 8 rows. If you want to make this part here wider, you can. Also, if you want to make it wider so that you can fold the brim over, you can. I'm just going to leave it like this because the hat that I'm going to do it up to the crown, and there's not going to be enough here for me to fold it. It's going to fall like right there, right in front of your forehead. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start our pattern. This is the pattern that I'm going to use to make this hat. This is going to be for an adult. I already showed you a child's version. Just click the little lamb. It'll take you to where all of my videos are and you'll find the tutorial there. So we're going to do this here for adults. Many of you have been asking me to make this version, so here it is. So this is the stitch that we're going to do. Now we're going to do a total of 9 repeats. So this is going to be the first repeat. Each repeat has 4 rows. So this is going to be the first row to the first repeat. Now we're going to start by slipping the first stitch. Then I'm going to knit 1 stitch and purl 2. 1, 2. Now I'm going to knit 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to purl 2, 1 and 2, knit 1, purl 2. Now again, knit 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. Again, knit 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, purl 2, 1 and 2, knit 1, purl 2. This is how you're going to continue for the rest of this first row. Continue and I'll meet you 3 stitches before we finish to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this first row. This is the first repeat. Now I have my last 3 stitches here. These last 3 stitches I'm going to purl. And here's the first row to the first repeat. Now turn for the second row. For the second row, we're going to slip the first stitch. We're going to knit 2 stitches. Then we're going to purl 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Knit 2. Purl 1, knit 2. Again, purl 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, knit 2, purl 1, knit 2, purl 5. This is how you're going to continue for the rest of this second row. Purl 5, knit 2, purl 1, knit 2. Continue, and I'll meet you at the end of this row. I'm here at the end of the second row. This is the first repeat. Here at the end, I have these last 4 stitches. I'm going to knit 2 and purl 2. And here's the second row. Now for the third row, turn. This is going to be the third row for the first repeat. Slip the first stitch, knit 1, purl 2. Now we have the next 5 stitches. You're going to knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, slip the next stitch, knit the next stitch, bring this stitch over the last stitch. Now we have the next 5 stitches. You're going to purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. Again, we have the next 5 stitches. The first 2 stitches, you're going to knit 2 together, yarn over, knit the third stitch, yarn over, pass the 4th stitch without knitting, and then knit the 5th stitch. Bring the 4th stitch over the 5th. Again, we have the next 5 stitches, purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. And then one more time, I'm going to show you the next 5 stitches. You're going to knit the next 2 stitches together, yarn over, knit the 3rd stitch, yarn over, slip the 4th stitch, knit the 5th stitch, bring the 4th stitch over the 5th stitch. And again, purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. This is all you're going to do for the rest of this row. Continue, and I'll meet you here 3 stitches before we finish to show you how we're going to finish this third row to the first repeat. I'm here at the end of this third row to this first repeat. These last 3 stitches here, I'm going to purl. Now turn for the 4th row. This is going to be the last row to this first repeat. So all you're going to do is slip the first stitch, knit 2 stitches. Then we have the next 5 stitches. You're going to purl 5. The yarn overs, you're also going to purl. Now we have the next 5 stitches. You're going to knit 2, purl 1, knit 2. Again, we have the next 5 stitches, purl 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now the next 5 stitches, you're going to purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. This is all you're going to do for the rest of this 4th row. Purl 5, knit 2, purl 1, knit 2. Continue, and I'll meet you at the end of this row. I'm here at the end of this 4th row to the first repeat. I have my last 4 stitches. You're always going to knit 2 here and purl 2. Now turn, and here is the first repeat. We did a total of 4 rows, so this is what we just did here, this part. We did the first repeat. Now we're going to start the second repeat. I'm going to show you here again. You're going to do exactly the same thing. So I'm going to show you the second repeat. So to start each repeat, the first row here, slip the first stitch, knit 1, purl 2. Now the next 5 stitches, this is where we have the 2 little eyes here. You're always going to knit 5 for this first row. And then we have the 5 stitches to separate each one of the motifs, these 5 stitches. So to do this, you're going to purl 2, and really the stitch is going to tell you what you need to do, because from here on you can clearly see that these are purl stitches, so you're going to purl, and then the center stitch you're always going to knit for this first row. Now again, we have the next 5 stitches. You're going to knit 5, and then we have the next 5 stitches, so purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. This is all you're going to do for this first row to the second repeat. I will meet you here at the end, 3 stitches before we finish, to show you once again how to finish this row. I'm here at the end of this first row to the second repeat. I have my last 3 stitches. Here at the end, we're going to purl these 3 stitches. Now turn for the second row to this second repeat. We're going to slip the first stitch, knit 2, and then purl 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the next 5 stitches, you're going to knit 2, purl 1, knit 2. Again, we have the next 5 stitches, purl 5, and then the next 5 stitches, you're going to purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. This is all you're going to do for the rest of this second row to the second repeat. I will meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of this second row to the second repeat. Now here at the end, we have the last 4 stitches. I'm going to knit 2 and then purl 2. And here's the second row to the second repeat. Now we're going to turn. Now for this third row, this is where we're going to make the yarn overs to create the little holes here. So we are doing this part here right now. So here for this third row, you're going to slip the first stitch, knit 1, purl 2. Okay, now we have the next 5 stitches. You're going to knit 2 together, yarn over, knit the third stitch, yarn over, slip the 4th stitch, knit the 5th stitch, pass the 4th stitch over the 5th. Now we have the next 5 stitches, and you can really see what you need to do. You need to purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. So that's what we're going to do. Purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. Again, we have the next 5 stitches. Same thing. 1 and 2, you're going to knit 2 together. Oops. Yarn over. The third, you're going to knit, yarn over, slip the 4th, knit the 5th. Bring the 4th over the 5th. And then purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. That's all you're going to do for the rest of this third row. So continue, and I will meet you at the end to once again show you how to finish this third row. I'm here at the end of this third row to the second repeat. Here, these last 3 stitches, you're going to always purl. Now turn for the 4th row. Now for the 4th and final row to this second repeat, we're going to slip the first stitch, we're going to knit 2. Now the next 5 stitches, you're going to purl 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next 5 stitches, you're going to knit 2, purl 1, knit 2. And then again, the next 5 stitches, purl 5, and so on. And then the next 5, purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. That's how you're going to continue for the rest of this row. Continue onomichu at the end of this 4th row to the 2nd repeat. I'm here at the end of this 4th row to the 2nd repeat. Now here are my last 4 stitches. I am going to knit 2 and purl 2. And here's the 4th row. Now from here on, you're going to repeat these 4 rows just like I showed you for these last 2 repeats, and we're going to do this for a total of 9 repeats. So you're going to do this until you have 9 little holes. Let's see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and then we're going to reduce like I did here. Now if you want to make your hat longer, then you could probably do 11 repeats, and then that way you can fold the brim like this. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep it like this with this length so that it falls right to the front of your head. So I'm just going to do 9 repeats, but if you want to make it longer, you can do that. So continue and make these 9 repeats, and then I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. Here I'm going to start you off on the 3rd repeat. So the first row for the 3rd repeat, you always slip the first stitch, then knit the next stitch, and then purl 2. This part here is always the same for every row except for the back side. Now we have the next 5 stitches. You're going to knit 5 and then purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. You can clearly see here what you need to do. These are purl, knit, purl, and then these are the yarn over rows, so you just knit 5 and then again repeat purl 2, knit 1, purl 2 all the way to the end. So continue, finish these 9 repeats or however many you're going to do, and I'll meet you back to show you what we need to do next. Okay, I did a total of 9 repeats plus 2 more rows. So you just start the next repeat and just do the first 2 rows. So that's what I did here. Now we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Perfect. Plus the 2 rows that I mentioned. Now what we're going to do, before we continue, let me measure this for you. Let's see. It's measuring about 19.5 centimeters, which is about, it's almost 8 inches. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to start to reduce here. Now there is no right or wrong way of doing this, so what I'm going to do here to start is I'm going to slip the first stitch and I am going to knit the next stitch. Now these 2 stitches that follow right here, I'm going to purl 2 together. Now we have the next 5 stitches. I am going to knit 2 together. So the next 2 stitches, knit 2 together, knit 1, knit 2 together. Now we have 2 purl stitches. I'm going to purl 2 together, knit 1, purl 2 together. Again, we have the next 5 stitches, knit 2 together, knit 1, knit 2 together, purl 2 together, knit 1, purl 2 together. That's all I'm going to do to the end of this row. So knit 2 together, knit 1, knit 2 together, then purl 2 together, knit 1, purl 2 together. Continue and I'll meet you at the end of this row. I'm here at the end of this first row of reduction. Now I have my last 3 stitches. I'm going to purl 2 together and I'm going to purl the last stitch. Now we're going to turn for the second row. In this second row, I'm not going to make any reductions. I'm just going to slip the first stitch. I'm going to knit the next stitch. I'm going to purl 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. The next 3 I'm going to knit 1, purl 1, knit 1. The next 3 again, I'm going to purl, and then the next 3, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1. That's all I'm going to do, so continue like this and I'll meet you at the end of this second row. I'm here at the end of this second row. I have my last 3 stitches. Here I'm going to knit 1 and purl 2. Now we're going to turn for the third row. In this third row, I'm going to reduce. So let's see. I'm going to slip the first stitch. I'm going to knit the next stitch. Now the next stitch, I am going to purl. And then I have these 3 stitches here. I am going to knit 3 together, but I'm going to do it through the back. It's easier and really it doesn't matter. You can do it through the front. I'm just going to knit 3 together through the back like this. And now I have the next 3 stitches. Here I'm also going to knit 3 together through the back. You can purl 3 together if you like. I'm just going to knit 3 together through the back. It's easier, and really we're just closing here and you won't be able to see it. Again, the next 3 stitches, I'm going to knit 3 together through the back. And then the next 3 stitches, same thing, knit 3 together through the back, and so on. So knit 3 together through the back, there, and knit 3 together through the back. That's all I'm going to do. So continue and I'll meet you at the end of this third row. I'm here at the end of this third row. In this row we have reduced here. Now these last 2 stitches I'm going to purl. Now at the end of this third row I have 22 stitches. Now turn for the 4th row. In the 4th row we're not going to make any reductions. So slip the first stitch. We're going to knit the next stitch, and here you can either purl or you can either knit. I'm going to purl. So purl, purl, and purl. So just purl across. Continue and I'll meet you at the end of this 4th row. I'm here at the end of this 4th row. Now I have my last 3 stitches. Here I'm going to knit 1 and then purl 2. Turn for the 5th row. Now in this 5th row, I think I'm going to make one more row reduction. I have too many stitches here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip the first stitch. I'm going to knit the next stitch. And I'm going to purl the next stitch. And here I'm going to knit 2 together through the back. And then knit 2 together, knit 2 together, and knit 2 together. Continue like this to the end of this 5th row. I'll meet you there to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this 5th row. I have my last 3 stitches. Here I'm going to knit 1 and then purl 2. Now at the end of this 5th row, I have 14 stitches. If for some reason you have less or more, maybe 2 or 3 more, it's okay. If not, you can just turn and then purl 2 together across. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and cut my yarn. I'm going to leave a nice long tail here because we're going to close the hat with this remaining yarn. So just cut a nice long tail here, and here what we're going to do is I'm going to use this needle here and we're going to remove these stitches now. So to do this, I'm going to push my cable here because I want to remove this one here on this end first. If you have just regular needles, then you can just go through that first one. I'm just going to go through here. Okay, now I'm going to close the top of the hat. Hold on to this loop here. Don't close it all the way, because now I'm going to go like this under so that there's a knot here. That's why I went here on this other side. Now pull this and close. And here's the top of the hat. Now I'm going to reinforce this stitch here again. So I'm just going to go through and tie a knot. Perfect. There's the top of the hat. Now we're going to close the hat here. So to do this, I'm going to go right here along the very edge. If you remember, we were at the end of the row, we were purling, and then at the beginning of the row, we were slipping the first stitch. So when you do that, it creates this nice little chain here along the very edge. So on this side, I'm going to go here along the very edge, and here on this side, because I had this chain here that's supposed to be the same as here, I want to make sure that I'm very careful going on this side, because there is that chain I mentioned every time we were turning. So right there, and see that chain is going to still remain. So to do this, we're going to go right here, make sure that the rows correspond on each side. So go here first, right there. And this is the right side, so we're going to close the hat on the right side. So find the next row that corresponds right there. And then the next row right there. The next row. Make sure you keep that chain there. Right there. And then the next row right there. The next row. And so on. Make sure you do this when you have lots of time, because you need lots of patience to do this part here. So see, there's a line. So continue, finish, and I will meet you once this part here is done to show you the finished hat. Okay, I finished closing my hat. That's what it looks like. Here at the end, I just joined, and then I just hit the end here on the inside. I just need to hide this other one here, and that's what it looks like. Now the hat is all done. Here's the top, and here is the hat for adults. I did this other one here. I went ahead and added this beautiful pom-pom. I think this pom-pom goes with this one too. So if you want to add a pom-pom, you can do the same thing. I'm going to order more of these pom-poms from Amazon. So I'll go ahead and attach it to the hat once I get them. Now the hat is all done. So this was today's tutorial. I hope you like it. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.